Thanks for joining us today on Polk Salad.
We've started the season and had two great shows.
Great idea. That's smart.
And we've just settled in quite nicely.
Greetings. It's the lovely month of June, the hot, lovely month of June. And commencement for Western Oregon University is just a couple of days away. We're going to highlight a few people, and there are so many more that we should have on today. But we have a faculty member that teaches a class that everybody wants to take. We have a student who is graduating and off to big things, I just know it. And then we have a junior student who is interning with the campus recreation and has a promotion idea, and we're going to be learning a little bit more about her and her event. So join us, and you're going to love today's program. Greetings. We're here with Molly Mayhead. She's in communication studies here at Western Oregon University, and she's taught, I'll say taught because it's 99% completed. She's taught a class on event planning that's all the rage. All the kids want to get into it. All the students are excited about it. So welcome. Thank you for coming.
Susan, thanks so much for inviting me.
Yeah.
This is truly a pleasure.
Now, you've taught this class more than once.
I have. I started teaching this class in 2006.
Oh, 10 years.
10 years. I do it in even-numbered springs.
And that's because it involves so much planning?
There are a couple reasons. First of all, it does involve so much planning. The other reason I teach it only every other year is it's really heavily involved in the community. And a lot of times we ask our community partners, different restaurants, different organizations, to give us prizes that we can raffle off. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to burn our community out. I want to make sure that they know we respect them and that we love them, and most of all that we appreciate them, and we don't want them to go out of business.
Good. So tell me some of the organizations that you've done special events for.
This event planning class, we have worked with the Boys and Girls Club of Albany. We worked with Victim Offender Reconciliation Program in Dallas. We've done a couple of events for the Monmouth Independence Community Foundation, and we've also worked with the Ron Wilson Center and with the Friends of the Monmouth Senior Center. And that to me has been really rewarding because they just broke ground on their facility expansion. We hosted an event for them 4 years ago specifically to help them raise money for that. So I was thrilled to see that that's finally coming to fruition.
I'm happy about that too.
I was so excited to see that happening.
Yeah. And this year, your two events, you chose two. Do you always choose two?
We don't.
Okay.
We don't usually choose two. This one I used two different events because one of them ended pretty early in the term. The first group we worked with and the first event we did was for an organization called Simply Birthdays. And Simply Birthdays every month goes into a homeless shelter and provides birthday parties for kids who are living in the homeless shelter. And so for the birthday party at a place called Samanka Place in Salem, we were able to go in and host a birthday party for a 4-year-old boy and an 18-year-old girl.
Oh, quite a spread.
It was quite a spread, and all of the mothers that lived in the homeless shelter was there, and were there, and all of the children, even though it wasn't their birthday, they all came to the birthday party. Oh. So we gave presents, we had games, we had activities, and of course cake and ice cream, which was a huge hit. The 4-year-old boy, all he wanted was Spider-Man things. So we got Spider-Man puzzles, Spider-Man books, and a big Spider-Man blanket. And the 18-year-old girl, she wanted a set of books. Unfortunately, I don't know what those books are because I don't read 18-year-old fiction. And she also wanted some makeup. And then we also did goodie bags for all of the kids.
Oh, good.
And we also gave mom bags out. And then after that, we had 3 weeks to finish our planning and our hosting of a dance for the Night Court kids. Night Court's an organization in Independence that is designed to essentially provide a safe haven for kids. And so we hosted a big dance. The Elks Lodge gave us the venue for free. And see,
That's nice.
That's what I'm
See?
talking about here with our community really helping out. A couple pizza places gave us free pizzas.
Oh, good.
And we decorated the lodge. We covered up the heads in the lodge. We made it a beach theme for the kids.
Oh.
And one of my former students came and was our DJ.
Oh, fun.
So it was a great time.
Good. Well, I know fundraising was something of an issue. I saw you promoting bake sales like mad.
Yes, my suspicion is most of the people at Western Oregon University are now very tired of me because every single week for like 5 weeks in a row, we had a bake sale. We had bake sales Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of like 5 weeks in a row. And my students were just such good troopers. They baked things, I baked things. All of our faculty and staff friends bought baked goods, and I was really very, very pleased with how the community came in. I had one epic fail. I made a really spectacularly bad loaf of banana bread that I couldn't even bring to school. But other than that, it was a really good time. It was good. For both of the organizations, we also used an online fundraising called GoFundMe.
Right.
And so total, we probably raised more than $3,000
Oh, wow.
between the two organizations for the two projects.
That's fabulous.
It was great because we started with zero for each organization. Sometimes when we do an event, the organization will spot us some seed money because they have it on hand.
Not this time.
Not this time. And so we started from scratch, and I was really impressed with how much work the students put into it. We have
I know
awesome
they
students.
enjoyed being in your class. I'm trying to think of all the skills you've just taught them. One of the primary ones is the ask.
The ask
That
is huge.
So hard.
Ask is always hard, and we practiced it in class. We wrote an ask letter, so that's a big deal. Group discussion certainly is a big deal. Being able to solve problems, being able to just work together, even though there might be disagreements. So there are dozens of skills. We talk about marketing. We had one of the students really was interested in PR. He reached out. We got some great coverage, as you noticed,
Good,
from
yes.
the Statesman Journal and the Itemizer Observer.
Right.
So this is one of the reasons we have this class, is that it gets them out of the class and gives them hands-on experience.
And I'll bet you have a waiting line, and everybody wants to take that class.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It is tough because I limit the number of people who can take it,
Yeah.
and we only offer it every other year. But I make sure pretty much that anybody who looks like they're going to really go into event planning or has really special skills, make sure that they get into that class. Absolutely.
Yeah. So in addition to teaching this class, you're also teaching how many others this quarter?
Standard at Western is to teach 4 classes a term. This class, just because of some other arrangements, I also taught 2 other classes. I taught a class called Law and Pop Culture, which looks how the media presents the legal system. And I also taught communication in the legal field. So in that class, we look at how communication plays a part in every single step of the criminal justice system. And we end it with a mock trial competition, which is always so exciting because the students get really involved and they are hyper competitive.
Yeah.
Hyper competitive. Other classes that I teach are First Amendment law, Rhetoric of the Women's Movement, which is very exciting.
You wrote a book on
Actually,
the female governors?
I
is it?
did. That was the first book that I co-authored, was on female governors. Then I've looked at women in Congress in the second book. And the third book was actually how women use autobiographies to be persuasive.
Interesting.
So other classes that we teach, that I teach in particular, are public speaking. That's the class nobody wants to
Yeah,
take.
but you know, I read your reviews on.
Oh my!
Yes,
great.
and it was. I
Would you go on?
The three that
Rate my professor.
You rate my professor. Respected, inspirational, hilarious.
Did you
So
get the one? Did you get the one that said, "She's a hippie"?
I did read that.
Yeah. I'm a hippie.
Yeah. It was good. There's, let's see, and you studied at Western under a different name at the time. I mean, it was the school.
My name was the same.
Your name's the same. What was the name of the school when you started here?
This is how long I've been at Western. I was here when it was Oregon College of Education when I was a student. My senior year, they changed it to Western Oregon State College. And now I'm here again at Western Oregon University.
And WASC, I just remembered what the acronym was. It was What's Our School Called?
I remember that.
Yeah, because it changed and changed again. So that's neat. And then after you graduated from here, you went on to study in Indiana?
I did. I went to Indiana University, home of the Hoosiers. I had never been in the Midwest before, and it was a great place to visit, but I really missed the coast.
But that didn't stop you. You went to Penn.
That's right. Then I went to Penn State. Both of those schools, I mean, if you picture how big Western is, those schools were gigantic compared.
Absolutely.
And when I was a student at Western in 79, 83 to 83, we only had like 2,100 students here. So it was a very big culture shock for
I'll
me.
bet.
But
Yeah.
I learned so much. And I always tell my students if they go to graduate school to go somewhere else because you can always come back.
That's true. You need a little expansion in your life.
You do.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of good advice to give. You've been here 28 years?
I am wrapping up my 28th year.
Yikes.
Yikes is right. Yeah. And then when I say it's more than a quarter of a century, it sounds even more.
It does.
Right?
It does. Oh. Well, I've sure enjoyed having you on the show, and I've learned a lot.
Well, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here. This is a great show. Congratulations
Thank you.
on getting the gig.
On getting the gig. Thank you. We'll be right back. Greetings. We're here with Jeff Collet, and he's a graduating student here at Western Oregon University, and I am excited to hear what he's got planned. Welcome, Jeff.
Thanks for having me, Susan.
And you work in this office. This is our digital production services. Tell us about what you've been doing.
So yeah, this has been my home for the last 3 years. It was the first thing I did when I showed up on campus was look for a job, and I was immediately directed here. At the time, I was kind of taking a break from doing video production and photography, but since my skill set fit right in line with working here in the studio, I just jumped right in, and I was quickly reminded how much I love doing this work. So for the past 3 years, I've mostly been working with athletics, directing, operating a camera for live athletic events, and then also editing highlight reels following the conclusion of events on a weekly basis. And also
so that's
doing
you doing that
Yeah.
work. Okay.
and then posting them to YouTube, and then also doing a yearly wrap-up video for the whole athletic program. And then I also help Deborah do other live campus events for the different clubs and organizations, and also I help her shoot and edit different features, and just any kind of visual media that needs to be created. I'm there to help.
So when you came here, you were not your traditional, a non-traditional student. Tell us what you
Right.
did before.
So before I came here, I was actually in the United States Army. I served 6 years on active duty, and then when I got off, I stayed in the reserves for another 3 years, and I'm actually wrapping up my total service here in July. But I was a combat photographer and videographer on my time on active duty. Did 3 tours of Afghanistan, and oh yeah.
And now your future plans. Tell us. This is very exciting.
So yeah, I've been job hunting for a while now, looking for something once school ends, obviously, and I finally landed a position up in Seattle with the King County Metro Department, and it's a temporary position. It's project based. We're going to be working on creating a virtual map of all of their bus routes for training purposes. But I think it's going to be a really good transitional opportunity to get into a metropolitan area where most of my work is heavily concentrated. So while I'm doing that job full time, I'll have a lot of free time to kind of explore other opportunities as that wraps up.
Yeah, I think once you get your foot in the door, then and they see your work, I think you've got it. You're a shoo-in. You're shoo-in. Well, when we first moved here, you were just editing and producing the video we all see on 718 and 717 on MyNet. I go to Woo.
Yeah, I go to WOU. So
Yeah.
that was actually a project that was in the developmental phase for quite a while. Deborah wanted to do a collaborative project with the men's acapella group here on campus 15 miles west. And we finally just got all the pieces together. We got the guys into the studio to record the track. And once we had that ready to go, we just went out on campus and shot it. And we shot the whole thing in about 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Which was really surprising.
And that was the first time, wasn't it, that anybody had seen the new mascot? I mean, that was before he became official.
Yeah, and then once after we had shot everything on campus with the acapella group, then back in the studio, I edited together that footage with stuff from campus that we had shot, and athletics, different campus events, footage from inside the classroom. Just create this just show you everything that WU is about, and really promote the university.
It's a really good promotional feature, I think, for anybody wanting to know what our university is like. So that's a fabulous thing that I'm sure you have on your, now that you wouldn't call it a Vita. What do you call your body of work you've done so far?
I mean, I would compile everything into a resume, but I think the thing that really stands out for video producers and video editors is you want to have a demo reel.
That's a demo reel. Okay.
Every year. Well, I just completed a demo reel for all the work I've done up to this point, and so every year from here on out, I'm going to keep updating that demo reel because that's really what people want to see. Is I want to see the work that you've done. So,
it's true. It's true. There's also, because you're graduating and you are such an outstanding student, Academic Excellence Showcase, you had put your work together and add your light to the light.
Yeah, so I titled my presentation "Add Your Light to the Sum of Light," and that comes from the movie "The Year of Living Dangerously," where the character Billy Kwan, played by the actress Linda Hunt, is talking to Mel Gibson's character Guy Hamilton on what their responsibilities are as journalists and as photographers, and Billy Kwan says, my philosophy is that you just don't think about the major issues. You just focus on what's in front of you, and you just add your light to the sum of light. And so I try to remind myself of that all the time because I tend to try to solve the biggest problem I can in the most elaborate way possible, but that's not how you get to the end goal. Like, you got to take it one step at a time. You don't get to the moon without a rocket. You don't have a rocket without an understanding of physics. So just reminding myself that if I focus on one task at a time, I'm going to reach that end goal. And so that's what my whole presentation was kind of centered around. That's
good. That's a really good philosophy. Very mature. I think when I do try to tackle a big task, it's how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time, and that's the way I get through a really big job.
Yeah.
You said it much more eloquently.
It's the same. It's the same idea.
Yeah, it's true. So you have come to Western Oregon as a non-traditional student. What made you choose our school?
So the original plan was to go to Oregon State. When I came out of the military, I was really interested in like physics and chemistry and math. Like I just kind of wanted to put media to the side, just because I was just kind of burnt out at that point. And so I was at LBCC at the time, and then my wife got a job here in Monmouth, and so I didn't want her to commute while I was going to school, so I said, well, I'll commute, we'll move here. While I was commuting to LBCC, I was like, man, I really don't like commuting, because I did it all the time when I lived in Maryland when I was in the military. And so I was like, you know what? There's a university within walking distance of where we live, and she's a WU alum of 2012, and so she really encouraged me to check it out. And once I had done my research, it just seemed like an environment that really fit my personality. Just the small class sizes and the kind of more intimate learning environment. I didn't want to be stuck in a classroom with 300 people for like a 100-level course.
It is the ratio, isn't it?
Yeah.
That makes a big difference. But I think the quality of our instructors too is really good. Did you have anybody who really stood out?
Well, I think all of my primary instructors, so Garima Thakur, Daniel Tankersley, and Jem Bracey, they all have pushed me in ways that I never could on my own, and helped me think about things in a way that I never thought of, obviously.
Good.
So I give credit to them to allowing me, like giving me some direction, but also kind of allowing me to explore things and have the freedom to explore my creativity while keeping the critical pressure on me at the same time.
I think you've probably acted as mentor to others too.
Well, I've been mentored by my peers as well. Like there's definitely an age gap, an experience gap between me and my classmates, but I've learned so much from my peers, just because we all come from different backgrounds. We all have our own perspectives on things, and it's been a really interesting experience. I'm graduating this year with a girl who's 19. I'm 9 years older than her, so it's it's interesting. Just thinking about that. Like we're at the same point of our college education, but there's so much, but the experience is just so much different.
Yeah. So you're planning to go to, what is the date you leave for your new job in Seattle?
It starts the 20th. So real quick.
You're packing bags, and are you leasing out your house, or what? Just pick up and go.
Yeah, well, I'll be moving up there to live with my aunts, and I've got a bunch of family that lives up in the Seattle area. And since it's a temporary position, I'm not going to move the family up there just yet. I have a wife and daughter, Kathleen and Chelsea.
Shout out Kathleen and Chelsea.
Yeah.
And Chelsea's,
she'll be 2 in July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
Yeah,
that's a sweet picture. Oh, good. Well, thank you so much for coming on. I wish you the best of luck in your future.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on. Appreciate it.
And we'll be right back. And we have another Molly with us. This is Molly Johnson. She's a student here at Western Oregon University, and she is an intern in our campus recreation department. Welcome, Molly.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. So we are going to talk about you for just a minute and then talk about why you're on the program.
Okay.
It's the old bait and a switch. So you are in your junior year, is it?
I am, yes.
And you're getting some good experience in this internship. What is your major?
I am a business major with a minor in visual communication design.
And so you're finding you use that in your internship?
Definitely, yeah. A lot of the business things that I've been learning, and especially the art background, is definitely helping a lot in my internship.
Good, good. So tell us what you are promoting.
So we are promoting the world's largest swim lesson. It is a worldwide record-holding event that promotes learning how to swim in order to save lives.
That's great. And the date for that?
Is June 24th.
And this is all ages.
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
And you're going to, we're just one of many, right?
Yeah, I think there are 2 or 3 others in Oregon, but there are a whole bunch all over the world that are doing this program on the same day.
And so the attempt is to make a Guinness World Book record.
Record, yeah.
Last year there were about
24,
24, 25, and
Participants.
then the year before was,
like 14.
yeah. So we are growing and growing.
Definitely,
And
yeah.
what's your goal to have get into the water on?
Definitely, hopefully more than last year is kind of our goal. But we've been doing a lot of marketing to promote and get community members to know about this program.
So you're going to have it on what date at what time again?
It is Friday the 24th at 3:30. Registration starts at 3 at the Health and Wellness Center.
And so there's about a half-hour class and then open swim.
Yes.
So is there I know under 6 months old they're concerned, but you know that they shouldn't be in the water or be submerged in the water.
Yeah.
Because of immunity issues. But 6 months and up.
Definitely. Yeah, and so we also encourage like parents if they want to get in the water, they totally can. Yeah, so you can be with your kid and in
Do
the
you
water
get
and stuff.
to count the parent as one of the
I
swimmers?
think so. Yeah.
Good, good.
Yeah.
So let's have a full house, folks. That sounds great. It's going to be a warm one. We're in June, by golly, and so people want to get wet. Tell us about the pool and what the hours are here on campus.
Yeah, so at the pool we offer different events. We have lap swim, an open swim, and a women's only swim program. And we also offer like cardio in the pool, so aquafit and hydroscoped. And they range from different hours. It's all on the website.
So be sure to go to, what is the site?
It is woo.edu/aquatics is the shortcut.
Aquatics. Okay, good. Because there's a lot of finagling to go to get where you want to go.
Yes, definitely.
Do people know about the rock climbing? Tell us about rock climbing.
Some know about it. So we offer rock climbing classes for all ages. And so, yeah, there's rock climbing lessons this summer, and there's also like open rock climbing, so you can boulder and you can lead rope climb, and you have to take a belay class before you can do the lead rope, but those are all offered this summer.
Good, good.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like fun for those who want to get out of the heat and come inside and swim. And it's a nice, nice facility, too.
Yes, I really
So
like it.
you may be into sports then. Were you a swimmer before you decided to?
I was not a swimmer, but I played volleyball and softball in high school.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. What are your plans when you do graduate? You've got another year or?
Yeah, I have about another year. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but definitely something to do with business, and hopefully I can use my minor in visual communication design, something with marketing.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Good. I see a bright future for you.
Yeah.
That'll be great. What made you choose Western Oregon?
I liked that it was a public school, but it had small class sizes, so it wasn't like a super big college, so you could be more intimate with your professors and actually get to know them instead of like being in a class with like 300 people, yeah.
Have you had somebody who has been a faculty member who's just stood out and been kind of a mentor to you?
Yeah, I've had a few professors like that, but definitely my supervisor for this internship, Melissa, has been
Yes.
super helpful, and she's just amazing and has like really helped me to get out of my comfort
Well,
zone.
and I know she thinks the world of you too.
Yeah.
When I called her about this today, she gave me, let's see. She said that you were thinking outside the box and that you do amazing work. So awesome. These are all new marketing ideas that they haven't done before. So be sure to join us when we do this swim class. I don't think I'll be there. I know how to swim, and I used to teach swim. So, but if you need a count, I'll go. Thank you for coming on today. I sure enjoyed having you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Good. And we'll be back. Didn't we just have the best guests today? I so enjoyed learning more about our students and faculty, what their plans are for the future, and how they've come to be outstanding citizens in our community. You can see our show, Polk Salad, Bounty of Conversation, on YouTube Winnipeg channel, the MyNet channel, 718, and of course our Facebook page, Polk Salad, A Bounty of Conversation. Until next time, thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us.